God, but there's a lot of people who believe they submit their will to God, and you would say they're not Muslim.
Correct.
So when you say a Muslim is one who submits their will to God, you're talking about a specific God. You have a specific ideology of God. You can't bow to a statue and and be a Muslim. You can't bow to your mother and think that your mom is God and be a Muslim. I can't bow to Jesus, believe he's God, and I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's important for us to clarify what you mean by God when you say a Muslim is one who submits to God. That's specifically the God of Islam, the God of the Quran and the Hadith.
The all-powerful creator of the universe.
And just for clarification,
Yeah.
Can someone be Muslim, submit themselves to God, but then not think that Muhammad was a prophet?
So after the time of the prophet, just like in the same way at the time of any prophet, you have to recognize the prophets that exist at your time or before you.
Okay.
Right? So now that we're living in this time, obviously the Prophet Muhammad came and established his whole religion, etc., the religion of Islam. So obviously you have to accept that. But at the time of Jesus, it was accepting the prophet Jesus. And at the time of Moses, accepting the prophet Moses, and so on and so forth. But all of them taught the same message, that God, the all-powerful creator of the universe, is one God.
Got it. So you have to accept that, you have to submit yourself to God, and you have to accept all the prophets to be Muslim.
Yes, correct.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so again though, submit your will to what God are you talking about specifically? Because when you apply this to the prophets, right? Obviously Islam claims Moses, Abraham and stuff like that. But the theology of who God is in the Quran, that's who you're talking about. It can't be anything out. Like for example, can you believe in a God? Can you believe in the prophets? Can you believe that God, the all-powerful creator, sent the prophets and believe in these prophets, believe in their message, but believe that God is a woman and be a Muslim?
Excellent. So I assume, let's go with father first, right?
No, a woman.
Oh, is a woman? No, of course not. No.
Okay.
Not.
And why is that?
Because God is not a man.
All right. So you have a specific ideology of who God is.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So you have a specific theology of who God is. You have to believe in that specific thing, that specific ideology, in order to be a Muslim.
You have to believe that God is one and is not a human creation, not an idol, not a plant, not a man, not a human woman, not anything.
Can you
like
believe that he's anything outside of what the Quran and Hadith tell you?
No, you have to believe in God as described in the names of Allah. Yeah,
Right,
attributes and names, attributes of Allah.
Good.
Definitely.
So what we can do now here is we've got that foundation. Now let's apply it to Jesus.
Sure.
And let's see if Jesus had that theology. Does he teach, preach, follow, believe in the same God that we see in the Quran and the Hadith?
Excellent.
And so how would you demonstrate that?
So you guys are aware that I think it's Proverbs 18, I think it is, that says, Yahweh, you are my rock, right? Famous.
You said Proverbs 18?
I think so.
Can we?
Am I wrong with that? Or Psalms, Psalms 18, my bad.
Psalms 18?
My bad. I believe it's Psalms 18.
There's a few verses in there. That
Yeah,
say
so
he's a rock.
Yahweh, you are my rock, right? So what I would do in that circumstance, if somebody says, Yahweh, you are my rock, I would say, I reject that. I put a big X on the idea that God is a rock, like you said, because it goes against our theology. It is not defined in our names and attributes of God. I reject the idea of God being a rock. Now I assume that person is going to say, wait, we don't believe that God is a rock either. So I'd say, okay, well then why would you call God a rock? They say it's figurative. I'd say, great. This is the important part. Figurative for what? So now we have to shift over to figurative for what? So we leave the literal meaning, and now we're shifting over here to this mystery box called the figurative meaning. Okay. And the moment we open that mystery box, I say, figurative for what? And they say, well, we say God, meaning that we depend upon God. I would say, one of the names of Allah is Al-Wakil, the one that you depend upon. So while I affirm that meaning that you have clarified, I will reject your wording. So now let's apply that to Father.
Wait.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
So can you be a Muslim and say that Allah is my rock?
No, you reject the wording. You reject that. I do not accept this idea of rock. The moment you tell me though, that I don't accept it either, I don't think of God as an actual rock. I say, well, what do you mean then?
Yeah.
And the figurative meaning is the one that you depend upon. I say, that is the part that we agree about, not the rock.
So if they say that Allah is my rock, meaning that he's the one I depend upon, I stand upon him, he's my foundation, you would still reject saying that Allah is your